Hey everyone, welcome back to the Greenville Food Project. I'm Connor, and today we're going to be talking about what it takes to be a baker. So when I talk about a baker, I'm definitely talking about an artisan baker, focusing on bread in this video rather than pastries or even croissants. But effectively, I'm dividing the baker path into two sections. I'm going to have the executive path and then the artistic path. Executive is going to be more so the career and traditional oriented baker, someone who's looking to get into a bakery with no experience, but looking to make their way up the ladder of management. You're certainly going to learn the right way to do it more so than someone who might be doing the artistic path. And for that, the artistic person is going to be someone who maybe has a career doing something else, is interested in bread, maybe saw some stuff online, watched a couple movies, and thought bread seems interesting. So it became a hobby for them, and this person is essentially looking to scale their production, going maybe from making a couple loaves for friends and family, moving on to farmers markets, and potentially owning their own micro or small bakery. So with anything, there's going to be a bit of bias. Some people might not find this to be perfectly aligned with how they see their baking career going. I personally ended up doing a bit of the combination of the artistic and executive. I was someone who was working in kitchens, and I ended up finding the baking hobby on my own. Ended up learning a lot by reading, watching videos such as this, and quickly wanted to make baking my profession as quickly as I could. So for that, we're going to be focusing on the amateur, the artistic path, someone who's making a couple loaves of bread for themselves, looking to jump that ladder and sort of go straight into selling at farmers markets and owning a bakery of their own. All right, so some of the difficulties. I personally found a lot of difficulties when I was looking to hone my baking skill and get better. A lot of this was sort of enjoyable. I did enjoy learning and all the discipline required for it, but I did have to train myself and sort of get myself into a different groove than I had otherwise. The first thing is really taking those 1 or 2 loaves of bread and turning it into 100 or 200 loaves of bread. Scaling bread can be quite difficult. 1 or 2 loaves, you can kind of do it on your own time. You can, make the starter at night. Maybe you wake up, I'm going to run to the store, come back. Oh, it's okay that it took a little bit longer for a certain step in the process. But when you're making constant loaves production and getting that going, it is a lot of timely needs, and getting used to that schedule, that level of discipline and planning out your day is a huge challenge. Another big thing was the lifestyle change. I was used to working in kitchens, and some of you might be used to more of a 9-to-5 job. But for me, switching from late nights, sort of falling asleep around 1 or 2 a.m. to falling asleep at 8 p.m. and waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning was huge for me. It had a drastic effect on my social life, my relationships, and especially my daily routines. When suddenly you can't go out and hang with friends on a Friday or Saturday night because you have to get ready and you're already thinking about how you're going to make the morning bake-off go quicker, really affects how you live your life. So one of the final difficulties I'm going to be talking about is going to be planning and time management. This is going to be more so towards the end of getting used to all the differences and working in a bakery. Let's say you are understanding the bread a little bit better, you're making more loaves than you have before, and things are going smoothly. You probably naturally want to add on different types of bread, maybe additional pastries to start selling. And the biggest thing is going to be incorporating that into a schedule that meshes well with all the other products. This is sort of like choreographing a dance. You really want to start with one dough and go immediately into the next mixing of another dough. And after that, maybe baguettes are ready and shaping that. And then, okay, the sourdough's ready. Now the whole wheat's ready. And sort of finding the timing of everything is sort of one of the final bosses of owning a bakery, I think. So on top of all the difficulties I mentioned, there's certainly a couple things that I think you should enjoy, like, or even love about the baking process. For me, these are going to be really the physical interaction that I have with the dough and the bread. really getting used to how it works in my hands, all the different ways that you can mix bread, and getting used to that sort of the physical lifting of flour and sort of like really using my body as part of the job really connects me to my environment. Another thing is going to be the ability I have to keep getting better. Over the years, as I've baked, I always learn something new every week, maybe even every day. And to me, that's one of the most exciting parts about bread. Taking just a couple of ingredients, getting used to the extreme nuance of them, and putting it all together and somehow coming up with a different product maybe today than you did yesterday, really keeps you on your toes and sort of brings a lot of excitement into bread. And lastly, perhaps the biggest thing for me is the connection that I can get with other people, whether that's the customer buying my bread, the people that help me make the bread, or learning about all the people online making bread of their own, and then even further towards the farm, all the people that are so involved with growing the grains, milling it, and really completing the whole process of taking a loaf of bread from the ground to the customer. There's something so special about someone who thoroughly enjoys what you're making. It's a product that can go stale in a couple days and be gone, but the connection people have with that can last forever. Days where I feel like products aren't coming out the door, loaves aren't turning out as nicely as I want them to, but still having someone enjoy that, share their experience about how coming to the bakery has become a part of their daily routine, ways in which they brought bread to social gatherings or to their family, and they all got to collectively enjoy something that I made, is hugely fulfilling. It is perhaps hands down one of the best parts of the job. So to wrap all of this up, I think some of the most important things is to be realistic with yourself and really find where bread and baking is going to fit in your life. If you're pretty early in your career or on this baking path, there's certainly nothing wrong with going more of the executive route, sort of starting off with some apprenticeships, perhaps taking some classes or getting a culinary degree. A degree like that can be expensive, but it can certainly open up a lot of opportunities outside of just working in a bakery, if that's something that interests you. If you're still on the more artistic side and there's this like love and passion for just making bread for your friends and family, and if that connection is all you need, that's okay too. If you do want to go the route of taking those couple loaves to a couple hundred, go for it. Just know that there's going to be a lot of hurdles in your way, and those challenges can be equally fun and definitely rewarding as they are hard, but just know that there's a long path perhaps ahead of you. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I hope this was enjoyable for you. If there were any terms that maybe went over your head, I hope you can sort of take those to dive deeper into your baking knowledge. If none of it was any interest, what are you doing here? But as always, happy baking, and I'll see you next time.